Kids, I'd like to introduce to you Bill Ferran, the head strength and conditioning coach for the University of Miami, and he's going to talk to you about a proper diet and a proper breakfast. Go ahead, Bill.
Thank you, Jose. Okay, what I'd like to talk about is an area that tends to get overlooked for athletes, and that is nutrition. Too many athletes take nutrition for granted, and the energy that you have comes from nutrition. Now, the high-energy foods are the complex carbohydrates, and they are the grain products, the breads and rolls and cereals, pancakes, waffles, pastas, rice, baked potatoes, those type of foods, vegetables and fruits.
Why you said that breakfast is the most important meal of the day?
Yes, they do say that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and that is true because you want to start your day with a good energy base. When you have a good energy base at the beginning of the day, you're going to have more energy throughout the day. And too many athletes skip breakfast, and they don't have as much energy.
I'm interested in gaining weight. How should I go about doing this?
The bottom line is calories. You need to take in more calories than you're eating right now, along with weight training. So if you take in 2,000 calories a day to maintain weight, you may eat 2,500 or 2,700 calories. You still eat a breakfast, a little more for breakfast, a little bigger lunch, a little bigger dinner, and snacks throughout the day. Now, if you're doing that without weight training, you're going to put on some fat. But if you're eating more calories with the weight training, you're going to get bigger. Now, a lot of athletes look for the shortcut and don't always do it the right way. And they look towards things that are illegal, and there's some problems now in our country with the use of steroids. And I would like to go over some of the problems with steroids right now. And that's on the slides also. Steroids are a drug that athletes take to try to get bigger and stronger. And it does work. They do get bigger and stronger. But the risks far outweigh the gains of getting bigger and stronger that way. If an athlete is willing to work hard and eat right, it's amazing the gains they can get. And too many people look for shortcuts. Now, with the shortcuts, you can see, number one, there are some skin changes that happen with a person that takes steroids, and that is they get more acne and they can start losing their hair. There's a balding effect. And there's liver abnormalities that can lead to cancer. And there has been cases of people on steroids that have gotten liver cancer. There are a few other things along with steroids that athletes tend to get into, and that's tobacco, either smoking or chewing, and alcohol or drugs. Now, being an athlete, all those things hurt you. You're not going to be as good an athlete as you could be. It's going to affect your concentration level, it's going to affect your energy, it's going to affect your performance. So if you want to be healthy and be the best athlete you can be, you can say no to those things and be proud of it. Thank you very much, and hopefully you learn some things about nutrition to have more energy and be a better athlete.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, guys, we're all out here in the outfield. It's right field, as you can tell, it's my area here. Basically, what we're going to talk about is some basics in playing outfield. We use glasses for the sun, to shade the sun. Another technique that I do use if we're playing with the sun is you angle yourself. You can use your glove to cover the sun. You can use a body angle sideways to cover the sun also. So there's many ways of doing that. First of all, we're going to discuss fly balls. And basically, the average way of playing a fly ball, I've had a lot of experience in making mistakes and making errors. I mean, you can't feel bad if you're going to make a mistake or an error. Basically, you are human. I mean, you're going to go through some trial and error periods. I know, because I was at one time in '86 one of the worst outfielders in the league, and there's always room for improvement. Now I'm known as one of the better outfielders with a stronger arm, so you can always improve. First thing I learned, you always use two hands. The best way of using, you always have to use two hands. You can't go out there with an approach of using one hand, because a lot of times it'll pop out of the glove. It's not secure enough. You go with two hands and you always secure it. Remember, you're always using two hands, like this. You're always secure. You're always going to be using two hands, and make sure that you have control of your body. Now, for example, let's say the sun is here. You can always use your glove to shade the sun away. This shades the sun. Make sure you have it under and you're always using two hands. Go ahead. You're always using two hands. You're gonna secure it and bring it down. This is the wrong way. One-handed, like that. Always keep the ball in front of you. Always keep it in view so you can see it. If you can, you have to hustle and be quick enough to get under the ball so you can always see it come into your glove. Try to avoid approaching a ball in a lackadaisical fashion where you catch it behind you or when you catch it too far in front. Those situations should only happen when it has to happen, when the guy hits a hard line drive or he hits a line drive in the gaps where you really have to go after it. So let me show you the improper way again. That's more or less an improper way. You didn't sit up under the ball and you didn't use two hands. Let me show you the proper way now. That's the proper way. You have total control of your body and you're always facing towards where you want to throw. I'm going to show you now a different way when there's a man on base. Let's say, for example, there's a man on second base and he's tagging up for third base. It's a mediocre deep fly ball. What we're gonna do here is, if it's a fly ball, we're gonna try to position our body to where we want the ball to end up, where we wanna throw the ball. The man is going from second to third. What you wanna do is catch in a fashion of coordination with momentum going towards the base. With two hands, with some motion going forward and releasing it. Well, right now we're gonna talk about our stance out in the outfield. Most outfielders stand flat like this and break back. I like to use a side stance, this stance right here. Reason why I'm so big, it's easier for me this way to get going. It's easier for me to move from left to right, easier. Dropping back this way. Opening up and turning around, it's a lot easier for me. You already have some momentum going backwards and you can play the ball better. The reason why I've done this is because in '86, I got caught a lot of times in this position, backpedaling. And that's the worst thing you can do in baseball. You start backpedaling, you start drifting on balls, and by the time that you realize the ball's over your head already. So basically, a lot of times depends on which stance you feel comfortable in. Some people like this stance here. Some people like the other stance this way. It just depends on you. It depends on what technique that you really like. This has worked for me, and I think I'm going to use this for a while now. Going to fly balls. When there's a man on second base or third base, someone tagging up, what you want to do is position yourself under the ball properly with some momentum going towards the base that you want to throw to. Let's say, for example, there's a man on second base, you get a fly ball. You don't want to drift. That's one thing. Here, this is what's called drifting. Lackadaisically going after a ball and catching it behind you. You want to get set under it, position yourself to catch it in front with both hands and throw towards the base. Let me show you now how it's done. You get position, you'll time it, you get in front, catch it in front of you, and throw straight towards the base. Always thinking of hitting the cutoff man. Every time you throw towards the base, there's gonna be a cutoff man there. What you try to do is throw it at him as hard and as quick as you can. The best throw will be a one-hop throw, depending how far you are. Let the third baseman handle it, or the second baseman, whichever one handles the throw. A one-hop throw. You don't want to overthrow the cutoff man or throw to his right or his left, because it might get away from him and away from the third baseman. And the guy running from second to third, he might get an extra base and score at home plate. So remember, your job as an outfielder is hitting the cutoff man. Once you hit the cutoff man, your job is done. And that's how outfielders become so consistent and they cut down on errors. We're now going to practice what I just showed you about outfielding. Remember, keep your body under the ball, position yourself, and throw to the base. Let's get the outfielders out. Come on, one at a time. You come out first. Bart Rumi, come on. Line up where I am. Okay, now what he's gonna do is, he's gonna throw you a fly ball, do exactly what I taught you. You're gonna be throwing to a base. He'll be the base. You'll position yourself, get under it. With one fluid motion, you'll throw back to him using both hands. Okay?